All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, the bishops of Great Millstone, and salutations to all Akim out there pushing His truth and all truth and sincerity diligently throughout the four corners. All right. Shalom as well to the Akwath that listen and do believe. I'm the brother Shamar Moff from Great Millstone, Miami. Also from the camp of Great Millstone, Southwest Florida, out here in the Fort Myer area. All right, coming to you, Akim or Akwath, with another quick lesson. And Lord's will this lesson be quick, edifying, and straight to the point, and serves as a comfort and an exhortation to the flock. Okay. The title of this lesson is going to be Steadfast, Things Are Moving. All right, be steadfast, things are moving. All right, pursuant to the book of 1 Corinthians 15 and 58, which I have on screen. Okay, and I'll get to in a minute, real quick. But before I read that, I wanted to say that this lesson is basically predicated on the things that are advancing and happening in the earth. All right, sometimes because of our daily tasks, certain things may be overlooked. All right, some things may slip through the cracks, but that's not to say that nothing is happening. Okay, things are happening. The Lord is making moves on the earth. All right, that's why it's very important for us to stay on our watch. Okay, just because you may miss something doesn't mean the next brother might miss something. So it's very imperative. That started with the apostles, as the scriptures say, that we miss not the discourse of the elders, man. Okay, and that we remain on our watch, on all different ways, man. Whether we doing our own personal watch, watching the news, whether we're remaining on our watch, watching brothers' lessons, whether we're watching the chats to see what articles are posted. All right, but we have to remain on our watch, and I'm speaking to myself first and foremost. The reason why is because the scriptures tell us to, man. Okay, watch as well as pray. That's what the Lord tells us to do. All right, but nonetheless, all right, the Lord is making His moves on the earth concerning the situation that's going on in the Middle East and the friction between the United States, all right, which the scriptures called Babylon, okay, and Iran, which we know Iran to be what? Persia, okay? And things are being very shaken up in that region, and it's giving hella the Lord mustereth up the host vibes. It's giving hella dang, man, is that Ezekiel 38? So make sure I'm on point with that. Yep, it's giving Ezekiel 38 vibes, especially with Russia coming to the defense of Iran and doing joint naval drills, which I had asked ChatGPT a question. I'll end up getting to that in a minute. Okay, so this is just a lesson to encourage brothers and sisters to just remain solid in the Lord, man. Be unmovable, man. Things are actually shaking. Things are actually happening. The vision is actually speaking. Okay? Part of the vision is actually speaking. What we're really waiting for right now at this point, as we see the tensions growing in the earth, we're waiting for that mark of the beast to be fully implemented and mandated on the earth. Everything else is falling into place, man. The Lord been dried up the Euphrates River to prepare the ways for the kings of the east to enter into the battle. The Lord is mustering up the hosts. All right, we're in beautiful times, man. All right, when we see these things, we're supposed to rejoice. We're supposed to be happy. We're supposed to, be fortified even more. Okay? So, again, Lord's will this lesson be edifying, man. So here's the book of 1 Corinthians 15 and 58. It says, "Therefore, my beloved brethren, Be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord Yahweh, for as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. And this is a particular call to the brothers that are, we're presenting our bodies as a living sacrifice. All right, we're going out there on the highways week in and week out. We're doing our videos throughout the week. All right, we're edifying and feeding the sheep of the Lord. All right, the Lord is telling us to remain strong, man, to remain sure-footed. Okay, don't be swayed or moved by what we got going on. No, remain in it. Okay, and go even more further by saying what abound in the work of the Lord. So wherever you at, all right, wherever we are, all right, we should be looking for opportunities to do more in the ministry, man. Okay, because why? Our work is not going, our work and our labor is not going to be in vain. All right, remember the Lord tells us that He's, you know what? Let me just get it real quick. Is that in Hebrews? Yep, Hebrews 6:10. It says, "For God is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which ye have showed towards His name, and that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister." You see, so the Lord is not going to forget our works and how we are ministering to the saints, man. All right, to the saints. The saints are who? Israelites, and we do minister, man. Okay, and we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end. So the Lord wants us to do what, man? As we came in the truth, the works that we've been doing from the beginning, we supposed to remain in that work, man. All right, and as we read in 1 Corinthians, we supposed to abound in that work, do more. Now, of course, the Lord is going to give the measures. He's going to divide the measures how He see fit. But nonetheless, the elder brother Amwan Gabar did a very beautiful a verse of the day. I think it was like yesterday or the day before yesterday. All right, what you put in is what you're gonna get out, man. So we should be in the spirit of putting our hand more to the work, okay. And as we had class out here in Fort Myers last night, and I was telling the brothers, I was like, hey man, because we was going into Hebrew prayers and talking to the Lord, and I had mentioned how speaking into the Lord in our language, you could ask Him for things in His pure tongue, and the Lord tells us what we ask for. All right, He's not going to upbraid, roughly paraphrase. Okay, and I had quoted knock and the door shall be open, ask and ye shall receive. So as we putting ourselves putting ourselves on the forefront and putting our hands to the work, we should be asking the Lord to increase our spirit, but also showing the Lord that we want to gain that increase by doing what? Constantly being abounding. Whatever the Lord is putting in your spirit, whatever opportunity comes about, abound in it, man. Don't let that opportunity slip. And I'm speaking to myself first and foremost, okay? All right? So we need to be unmovable, man. We need to be steadfast. Again, because that vision, all right, that vision in this particular lesson, the vision now speaking of that speaking, the vision now speaking of that speaking. Yeah, the vision now speaking of that speaking right now is the tension between the nations, that World War III getting closer and closer, man. All right, this is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, and verse 3. It says, for the vision, which when you go into the word vision, it goes into oracle, a divine prophetic message from above, right? For the vision is yet for an appointed time. And that's true, man. The Lord has set, His prophecies in certain times. And except that time for that prophecy gets there is not going to hit. The Lord knows when His prophecies are going to come to play, if that makes sense. All right, it says, for the vision is yet for the appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. And are we not at the end? We are very much at the very end of this thing. And right now the visions are speaking, man. We're seeing the MOTB system being built, okay, and not just being built, being regulated. Right now, you know, the RFID microchip, that shit is being regulated. That shit is being, you know, talked about. There are particular CBDC groups and companies that are going through the, you know, whatever respective channels that they need to go through to be you know, established throughout the world. You know what I'm saying? The devices is here. The you know, those implantables been here. Certain legislations have been passed that speaks about implantables, man. All right. Again, I have mentioned that the Lord has dried up the Euphrates to prepare to allow the kings of the east to enter into that region. That's been happening, man. You know, or scriptures talk about wars and rumors of war. You know, we at the end, man. We're seeing these things actually speak, and it's not lying, man. As the Lord said these things would happen, they are happening right now in the present time that we're in our face, man. Okay. It says, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry, right? So since it's speaking, man, all we gotta do is, you know, be a little bit patient, man. All right, be patient, because the Lord is making these things happen, man. All right, it's not going to tarry too long. All that tension that's going on in the Middle East is not going to just be tension. No, it's going to actually spill over into all-out war very, very soon. The things that we're seeing that's happening in that region is all signs of war being prepared, man. Okay? Galatians 6:9, it says, let us not be weary in well-doing. This work that we're doing is very good. The Lord is telling us not to be weary, you know. All right? You know, we all got to look ourselves in the mirror and examine ourselves and make sure that, hey, man, hey, it's still work to be done. It's not the time to be, you know, quitting or giving up. Nah, man, push. You know, when it comes to racing, all right, whether it be 100 meters. Well, I'll speak about the 400 meters, the you know, 400 meter dash or something like that, or the 4x4 race. You know, it's usually on the last 100 or 200 meters that you got to dig in, all right, and actually push. The whole time you've been pacing yourself, you've been catching your stride and making sure you're breathing correctly, right? But once you get towards the end, that last leg, that's when you got to dig. That's when the body starts to get fatigued. That's when the mind tries to, you know, play games. Well, the body tries to play games, and the mind has to step in and do what? Overcome the body, and you have to finish the race, right? Well, we're in the last leg, all right? Fuck everything that this world has going on, man. Dig deep and keep pushing, man. All right, because we are at the end. The finish line is right there. All right, the mark of the beast system, the mark of the beast, the MOTB, the RFID microchip is right there to be almost there to be fully implemented, man. World War III is right there. So that also means that what? Yahweh Shai cracking the heavens is right there, brothers. Remember, the scriptures tell us that it is high time to wake out of sleep, man. Okay? For what? For our salvation is nearer than when we believe, man. It's right there, man. All right, so let us not be weary and well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. The key is we're gonna reap the benefits if we do not faint. If you faint, it don't matter what you had did. You gave up. You're not gonna receive your benefit. All right. Just like a fucking what it was, GTA, right? You know, I've been playing video games here and there. It's just like GTA, man. You doing a mission with your comrades and stuff, your friends. All right. 2 of them may have died, and now they gotta watch the rest of the crew finish the mission. And the mission is a long ass mission though. But here it is, it's the last fucking thing you gotta do to complete the mission, and the other two just fucking decide to quit. Oh, it's taking too long, quit. Like, goddamn, you left. And as soon as you see the such and such left, the mission is done, and you receive the prize, the payout, the RP, while the other people that done left, they don't get shit. Cause they tapped out at the fucking end, man. Okay? Alright? So we gotta do what, man? We gotta endure, man, as the scriptures tell us. Alright? In 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 3. It says, thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Hamashiach Yahushai. Alright? We gotta endure hardness, man. We gotta endure it. Okay? Cleave unto the Lord. Depart not away, man. Okay? Draw nigh unto him. We at the end, brothers and you sisters. Okay? Verse 4 says, no man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier. All right, so the shit that's going out, the shit that's going on around us, man, bump it, man. Bump all that shit. Because greater things are on the horizon, man. Okay? Wickedness is about to get put out. Wickedness is about to be eradicated out of the earth right now, man. Come on. Stand 10 toes, man. Stand 10 toes, okay? Because at the end of the day, the Heavenly Father, all right, commanded us, okay? Commanded us to be strong, man. Joshua 1:9, have I not commanded thee? Be strong and of a good courage. Be not afraid, neither be dismayed. For the Lord Yahweh thy God is with thee whithersoever thou goest, man. The Lord commanded us to be strong, man. So we got to remain, brothers. Okay? We got to stay strong. All right? We got to stay sure-footed. Okay? All right? Now, earlier today, I was thinking about all the stuff that was going on, and I went to chat, and I typed in what's actively going on in the Middle East as of from the beginning of this year till now. I'm hearing that the Straits of Hormuz is partially closed. The U.S. is building military presence in the region. An armada of naval ships has been deployed by the U.S. Iran has prepared 5,000 graves for U.S. soldiers. Give me some news articles and sources. I want you to deep search this. All right, and chat responded with what? Here's a comprehensive, up-to-date overview of what's actively happening in the Middle East in early 2026, especially focusing on the U.S.-Iran tensions, claims about the Straits of Hormuz, U.S. military buildup, and related developments with verified news sources from major outlets. All right. It says what? Major Middle East and U.S. dash Iran tensions 2026. Reuters News 10 hours ago. Okay, 10 hours from when I searched this up. It says Russia urges restraints against U.S. buildup, military assets near Iran. All right. From Wall Street Journal, U.S. gathers the most air power in the Middle East since since 2003 Iraq invasion, man. AP News, Iran holds more drills and U.S. carriers near Middle East in latest preparation. The Economic Times, Iran has already fired a warning shot amid U.S. military buildup. AP News, Iran says it's temporarily closed the Strait of Hormuz as it held, I'm pretty sure that's more drills. Okay? Goes on and says, 1, U.S.-Iran tensions escalate. military buildup and diplomacy. It says U.S. military presence has increased significantly. The United States is amassing the largest air power in the Middle East since 2003 Iraq invasion, including F-35s, F-22s, bombers, air defenses, and over a dozen naval vessels, man. And that's from the Wall Street Journal. Multiple aircraft carriers and carrier strike groups like the USS Gerald R. Ford, and USS Abraham Lincoln, and their escorts are being positioned near Iran, signaling readiness for possible military action. This is also from the Wall Street Journal. Analysts describe this as the heaviest U.S. military posture since the Gulf War era, though the U.S. has not yet launched an all-out attack. That's from the Sun News, or Sun Sentinel. I think it is the Sun Sentinel. Let's click that. Let's see. All right, the Irish Sun. All right. It says drums of war. Yeah, man, the war drums are beating, man. Come on, brothers and you sisters. The war drums are beating, man. Trump intensifies pressure on Iran and largest buildup since Gulf War as his amassed armada and jet fleets in the Middle East, man. Okay? It says, why is this happening? Why it's happening? The buildup is tied to stalled negotiations over Iran's nuclear program, expanding sanctions, concerns over Iran's missile capabilities, and the U.S. Deterrence strategies, man. Number 2, it says what? Straits of Hormuz, temporary closure and strategic tensions. Iran temporarily closed the strait on February 17th, 2026, which, if I'm not mistaken, that was yesterday, right? What's today? Today is... Well, that's 2 days ago. Today is the 19th, okay? On February 17th, 2026, Iran announced a temporary closure on the Strait of Hormuz for live fire military drills, a rare move. The strait is a critical oil choke point, through which about 20% of global seaborne oil passes. Its closure, even temporary, sends a powerful geopolitical signal. Context of the closure. Iran claims the closure was part of military exercises and not meant to disrupt shipping permanently, but analysts interpret it as a warning and leverage tactic amidst high tension with the U.S. Number 3, Iran and Russia naval drills, joint naval activity in the region. Iran and Russia has been conducting joint naval drills in the Gulf of Oman, Strait of Hormuz, and northern Indian Ocean, partly in response to U.S. activity. Some reports also mention involvement by Chinese vessels, indicating widening military cooperation in the face of U.S. pressure. These exercises are positioned by Tehran as defensive and and aimed at deterring unilateral action. Okay? All right. And it goes into diplomacy talks. But yeah, man, this is what's been going on, man. This is what's been going on amidst other things, man. All right? Because what? Palantir is moving their headquarters down to Miami. All right? Along with most of Silicon Valley tech giants. They're moving all their shit down here. All right, to Florida, South Florida, which is a power move because what? Miami had been acquired. Most of Miami has been acquired by this one JOO, okay, and he's been holding property for years, man. Holding properties for years. I remember a couple of years ago before the pandemic, downtown Miami looked like it was dead. And then the pandemic happened, and most businesses were forced to shut down. And this nigga acquired all them shits. And his whole goal was to turn Miami into the next tech giant hub, all right, and to be one of the first cities to really adopt fully CBDC activities, man. Okay, so we're living in beautiful times, brothers and you sisters. So right now, again, it's not the time to be weak, not the time to be, doubtful. No, man. Right now is the time to lock in. All right. So Lord's Order Celeste was edifying. Again, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rechak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, the bishops, the great millstones, salutations to all Akim out there pushing truth and all truth and sincerity diligently throughout the four corners. Shalom.